Hey, Bodacious Beast, welcome back to my channel. Well, today I'm going to be talking about vacation. It's time for a vacation. It's time to plan vacation. It's time to go on vacation. And one of my favorite cities that I've stayed in and that I've lived in for 8 years, I'm talking about Boston, Massachusetts. Now, before we begin, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss another video. Now, let's get moving with my story. So I lived in Boston for 8 years, and I know several really good areas that you can actually stay. One of them, not so much. It's down towards the bottom of my list. You pretty much not quite guaranteed unless you probably go to, I would say, Verbo and rent one of the condos that are out there, or Airbnb, because I don't think there's a hotel out there. And that's on Revere Beach in East Boston. East Boston. Revere Beach is connected by the subway. It's close to the end of the Blue Line. It's got plenty of restaurants and bars and miles and miles of pristine white construction sand on a beach. So if you're a beach goer and want to sit down and enjoy a day on the beach, the sand is nice and hot. Most of the time it's pleasant. You can always find a place to put a blanket down and a beach umbrella, even though the water is cold. One of the most famous places on Revere Beach is called Kelly's Roast Beef. Go up to it's about a mile walk up from the Revere station, about a half-mile walk from the Beachmont station. Kelly's Roast Beef has the greatest roast beef sandwiches you can ever even enjoy. They got hot dogs and other things as well. Fried clams. But the thing is, one of the greatest things about Kelly's Roast Beef is, well, in fact, you go and buy a nice roast beef sandwich and some fries and maybe a hot dog for the kids. You go and sit on the wall, and boom, you're going to have it instantly about 1,000 followers. No, it's not going to be 1,000 social media followers. It's going to be 1,000 followers with white feathers. Watch your sandwich. Watch your fries. Be careful when you eat a hot dog, because when I was in Revere, I went to go and enjoy that hot dog. Before I got that hot dog into my mouth, that seagull was taken off with it. All I have is the bun and the fixings. Be careful. But it's a great place. It's a quiet place to go and spend the week if you want to get out of the hustle and bustle of the city. My second best place that I would talk about would probably be Kenmore Square. Actually, that should have been bumped up one, but let's do Kenmore Square. Kenmore Square, you're going to have all of the old architecture, most of the, I would say, Victorian era buildings. It's been several years since I've been there, so I don't know how much it's blown up. But then you also have the historic Fenway Park. Home of the Boston Red Sox. You can go and catch yourself a ball game. It's also connected by the Green Line, and you can be able to travel in and out of the city while still being in the city. And there's plenty of great places and good eats all around in that general vicinity. Now, my next best place that you can be able to go and stay that's on my list, and it's more of something that's I would say family friendly. And that is the Boston Commons. The Boston Commons has several hotels around, has multiple restaurants around. Like I said, it's been a while since I've been there, so I don't know what the lockdown events of how it possibly affected it. You're right next to the the church, the Paul Revere. Said the red coats are coming. The red coats are coming. It's right there. You got multiple pioneer cemeteries around. You have the swan boats to be able to go around the lake in a swan boat. And you have two massive parks. And again, you're connected with the subway system. The next location that I would probably talk about would be, I would say, Boston's North End. Now, I don't remember any hotels down there, but I know that there's a few bed and breakfasts. I know there's a couple other hotels that are nearby. Boston's North End is basically, well, it was the place where you could get possibly the best Italian pasta on the planet. So, if you wanted to go and have good quality, high quality Italian food, that's pretty much where you'd go. Now, that's a little bit of a short review, but the other really interesting thing about that is, let's say you're going to Boston on a very hot day. Now, Boston is known for a couple historic events. One of them was the big cigar fire. It took out a big chunk of the North End, I believe. And then you also had the Great Molasses Flood. I forgot to look up the year. I'm sorry about that. But they used to have a massive water tower in the North End that was completely filled with molasses. And it ruptured and it went through the entire streets of the North End, went through the sewer system, and to this day, I believe it was in the 1800s, and to this day, on a hot day, you could smell molasses in the North End. So if you like the smell of sugary sweet syrup, and you're going down to Boston during a very hot week, that's pretty much a good place where you can be able to go. Alright, so I've got Kenmore Square, I've got the Boston Commons, I've got the Revere Beach, and I've got the North End. Now, this is probably the best place in Boston to go to. If you're going to stay in Boston, I would 100% recommend you going to this particular area, and I believe it's One Wharf Boulevard, or, well, I can make it even more simple. It's the Aquarium Stop in Boston. The Blue Line Aquarium Stop. I know there's 2 or 3 hotels around in that area. Another spot would be the Charlestown Navy Yard, but I would probably recommend just the Aquarium Stop. Now, in my opinion, this Aquarium Stop is the epicenter for any tourist in Boston. The reason is you're connected to the transit system, the subway. You can park your car there. You shouldn't have to worry about anything. You're a short walk away from the biggest aquarium in Massachusetts, and just kind of if just a side note, if you go to Massachusetts, then just kind of, if you want to pronounce the state, think of massive 2 shits and just say it quicker. Then you won't sound so out of towny. Okay, so that's what a friend of mine is, and he's a native Bostonian. So, the Aquarium Stop, why is that the best spot? Well, number one, they have several really nice restaurants around in the area. You're basically at the epicenter of transportation. By meaning the epicenter of transportation is you got the subway. And most people don't talk about Boston's water transportation system. So they actually have this connected to the subway system and the bus system is a water taxi system. So you can be able to jump on a water taxi and you go up to Salem, you can go to Gloucester, you can go to Hull, and all that is the same cost of just buying a standard day pass for the subway. And another thing is that's also the departure point for whale watches. Boston has the Castle Islands, which a lot of people don't know about. That's like the hidden gem of Boston. You can go up to the Castle Islands. There's a huge castle-like fort. And then you have other little harbor islands that are around there that you can actually go and have a picnic, do a picnic day, and just get away and get out of the city. Then you have your whale watches. I recommend, if you are going to Boston, to do a whale watch tour. You will really, really enjoy it. So there's my top 5 locations you should go, or top 5 locations you should stay in while you're in Boston. And now most people will try and disagree with me and say, well, wait a minute, what about Harvard Yard? Harvard Yard is probably the tourist trap, or close to MIT, but then you're also competing with the tourists that want to go to those universities. So you're better off just to stay somewhere else and then just jump on the system. The system will drop you off right where you need to go. So that's the conclusion of my list. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. If you're a native Bostonian, hi, I'm out here in the West Coast. So if you're watching this, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And again, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss another video. Let your friends and family know, and most of all, keep on rocking.